Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are here tonight with you. Thank you for coming to the rebroadcast. I am yours truly, Dr. Sabrina Jackson, the Success Broker. And we are here on day number 17 of 29 days of love and charming delights. Thank you for joining. Thank you for those hearts. I'm so excited to be with you tonight because we are diving in on the 5 stages that all love relationships go for. Please invite your followers. Thank you so much, Charming Delights, for inviting people in to join us for this discussion tonight, this teaching. Hey, Double Digit Diva. Thank you for joining, and I'm asking that you please invite your followers and your network. Thank you for the hearts. So, Aurora, we're going to go right into this whole stage number 2 of the 5 stages. Hey, S. Brinson, thank you for joining. We want to get right into our discussion about stage number 2 of the 5 stages that all love relationships go through. And stage number 2 out of all the stages are the most difficult. Remember last night we talked about the passion stage, that love stage, the stage that creates that chemical cocktail in your brain, those 3 chemicals that get together and make you feel like you high all the time. Well, we're out of that stage now, and we're going into the next stage, which is the power struggle. And in this stage, this is when we have the highest percentage of couples that either break up or get a divorce, and it really starts right around that 3rd year and lasts between that 3rd and that 5th year of your relationship. So if you are there, know that where you're at, the way you're feeling, the attitudes that you're having, the arguments that you're having is normal. It is normal because now you're in the power struggle. This is a very distressing phase because this is the period where you have to come to terms with all that stuff you were feeling in the passion stage ain't gonna last forever. It's not gonna be there anymore. It can come and go, but it's not gonna be ongoing like it was during that first phase. And so you're coming to terms with that, and you're also coming to terms with the fact that you may feel angry because that's not happening no more. You may have feelings of disappointment because that's not happening anymore. You may even get to the place that you are depressed because the things that used to bring you joy, the things that used to get you excited about your relationship seem to be gone. So you begin focusing on all the stuff you don't like about your mate, all the stuff that they doing that you just don't like. Before, in that first phase, you were focusing on all the stuff that you liked, all the stuff you had in common. Oh, you like their sense of humor. Oh, you like the music they like. And now, I can't stand him. I can't stand her. She don't do this. He don't do that. You start to pick apart the stuff that you don't like in the other person. So this is when you start to point out all the issues that your partner has, all the challenges that your partner has, all the flaws that your partner has, all the problems that your partner has. And let me tell you something. Whatever you focus on is what grows. So if you don't want to stay there, change your thinking. If you start thinking about all the things that you don't like, stop and step back and start thinking about the things that you do like. Spend more time talking about what you do like rather than what you don't like. That's important. And so this phase also includes now you want to punish the person. This is for ladies. Let me say this to the ladies. Many ladies during this phase is when you stop giving up the loving. You stop. You use it as a weapon. You say, oh, well, if you don't do this, I'm not giving up none. This has always baffled my mind because how do you stop something that you yourself should be getting some enjoyment out of? When I was married, that's not the thing that I wanted to stop. I really wanted to get it in when it was time to get it in. I didn't want to use that as my punishment. We have to go someplace else because that right there is very important to the lasting connectiveness of the relationship. So don't use that, and man, you either don't use not giving up the goodies during that period, because you're frustrated and you're irritated and you're agitated. And so this also is the time that you have what we call the dance of intimacy. And the dance of intimacy is when one person wants to go back, become reclusive, spend time by themselves, gotta have their space, don't want to talk, and the other person is feeling emotional, needy, and they're moving closer. And so when that person is then moving closer, the other person moves back, and then it's like a dance. You start to go in and out, in and out. So you have to get to the point that you really sit down and talk about it, about what your needs are, why you have those needs. I remember there was a couple that I was working with that the wife really absolutely needed that time to talk, that connectiveness, and really felt bad when she would come home from work and couldn't connect with her mate. He, on the other hand, really needed that time alone, that space alone. So what we did was he had his hour and a half alone, and he promised that as soon as he was done, he would grab her wherever she was at, take her to the couch, sit on the couch with her, put her little tootsies up in his lap, and just totally listen. That got her so excited. That met her need, and it met his need. So this is the time that you're going to have to learn how to fight. You have to learn how to disagree, because disagreement is coming. The major goal of this particular phase is that you're moving to learn how to assert your individuality, at the same time still connecting and valuing the coupleness, the partnership of the couple. So how do you do that? How do you still remain true to who you are and what your needs are, and not discount your mate? So that's important that you begin to talk about that. And so this stage can last for the couple anywhere from a couple of months to years and years and years and years, because this is the stage that people get stuck at. And generally, there's 3 ways that you can handle this particular stage. The first, you just quit. I ain't being bothered with you no more. I don't want to be with you. I ain't gonna deal with you. So you duck out. Deuces. Or you survive. And with the survival, it's just like, I'm doing just enough to get by. We know we're going to fight. We know we're not going to get along. So, hey, I'm in. I ain't going nowhere, but I'm not happy. Survival is not thriving. You want to get to the point that you're thriving. And so that's the third part. The third way of dealing with it, that you overcome the strategies and the struggles. And when you overcome, it's best that you overcome by doing these things. 1, really be honest and deal with your differences. Agree to disagree agreeably. You're going to have to learn how to fight, and learn how to fight fair. You have to collaborate and connect and talk and compromise without aggression. So when you find yourself getting upset, when you find yourself getting angry, when you find yourself where you're boiling point, learn how to walk away. Because if you keep going in, it's going to escalate to someplace that you don't want to go, and it may not be able to come back from. So learn how to control your own anger. The other thing to do is to take stock of what you really value about the relationship. Start talking about what things you like, what things bring you joy, what things make you laugh. I know that most couples have private little jokes that are just intimate jokes just between them. Get there, go there, smile, laugh, giggle together, touch, all of that's necessary. And then learn, this is huge. All couples are always in a spiritual fight. You always are. Because the devil knows if he can break down a couple, he can break down a family, he can break down a neighborhood, he can break down a school, he can break down a church, because it starts with the couple. So as a couple, you got to learn how to use spiritual weapons to fight a spiritual fight, because physical weapons never, ever work. So you have to learn how to fight spiritually. And as a couple, and I'm going to talk about this in another scope, the specific weapons that you use as a couple to fight the spiritual fight. You can't use physical weapons because physical weapons aren't going to work in a spiritual fight. So make sure that you understand that you're always in a battle, but you can overcome and win the battle, but you got to do it together, and you got to learn how to do it together. And then lastly, hey, thank you for those hearts. I saw you, Nadine. Thank you for joining. Accept the understanding of how your relationship works. This is huge, because if you look at other relationships and you try to model it exactly out of how theirs were, or you look at your parents or who you grew up seeing, it may not work, because one, you're not in a relationship with who that person was in a relationship with. You have to decide how your connection is going to work, what understanding, because the number one thing that you absolutely need in your relationship is an understanding. Have the discussion. Come to an agreement and stick to the agreement. And if it's not working, sit at the table, have the discussion so you can clearly move through this stage of the power struggle. Understand that aggression is not the way to get through it. It is by loving kindness have I drawn them. And you can't draw folk if you're repelling them. So beloved, know that the power struggle is coming, but you can overcome it. You don't have to quit. You don't have to give up. You don't have to just grin and bear it, but you can overcome. By the words of his testimony, the word gives you tips, tools, and strategies on how to get through those difficult times. Beloved, I love you. I thank you for joining me tonight. We will be right back here with you tomorrow. And tomorrow we will go to stage number 3, which is the third P, permanence. Love that word. So we've had passion, power struggle. Stay tuned tomorrow for permanence. Take care. Love you.